Clutch Trucker is filmed before a live studio audience. Hi, thanks so much YouTube for tuning in again to the Clutch Trucker channel. Today's episode is quick and dirty wiring repairs for your truck. All you need is two items, and that is beautiful shrink tubing. So I've got a box of assorted sizes of shrink tubing and a torch, baby. Yeah, torch, baby. We like that fire, baby, don't we? It has a propane bottle that goes along with it. Right here, I will put that together and do that repair momentarily. I had to fix my license plate light, about a week ago or so when I was up in the Portland area. I noticed it in Idaho and stopped at a Boise TA and tried to do the quickest thing, which was fix the light itself, thinking maybe that would be the only problem. Okay, this is the license plate light right here on my trailer that I tried to replace. These are real easy to pop out. So you take my screwdriver down here and push it in the bottom. There it goes. So you pop that out. It plugs in, which is nice. So the first thing I did was bought a new light right here and plugged it in, and it still didn't work. So I pulled the wiring. You can see going back in there a little bit out to see if I could see anything there. Nope. Knew that wasn't the issue. I knew it was somewhere further back. Here we go. It's clipped back in. So the problem was actually where the wiring comes in underneath. Don't know if you can see any of that. Now, because I already repaired that wire leading to that license plate light, I'm going to do a simulated repair. Got my spool of wire here. This is just some standard 16 gauge wire. Always good to have something like that on hand. 16 gauge will work for damn near everything on your truck. So I'm going to use some of this. I'm going to take some of this into two pieces to simulate a broken wire situation and show you how to repair it with the shrink tubing and the torch. Okay, I forgot to mention there is one more item you need. Scissors, baby. All right. Now let's say these are the two ends here of your broken wire, and real easy to repair. So say now you've got your two ends because you found they had a break. All right, they were connected, and this is your break, and this is what you got to repair. Real easy to do. First thing you do is you take your first wire. I'll just set one down, and you're going to take your scissors and you're going to score the insulation there. Okay, just score it a little bit. You don't want to cut all the way through the wire, but to where you get a point where you can see. Now I can bend that, and you can see the exposed wire. Okay, so then I've got tough fingernails. I always just take it and get my fingernail in there and bang, pull that off now. So you have this lovely exposed wire area. Okay, so we do that to the other side. We score it with the scissors. Again, bend it. You can see a little piece of exposed wire in there. Grab it with your thumbnail. Bang, there you go. And you've got exposed wire there. Okay, now you pull out your handy dandy shrink tubing. I got this. You can see, where did I get this? I don't know. It's got orange at the top, so I'm assuming Home Depot. You can find usually little bags of it at the TAs and Petros, but they don't have as much in there. This has got a pretty good assortment. If you can see, I don't want to tip it too far and knock them out. What you want to do is you want to find the tubing that's just a little bit bigger than the wire you're going to use. And I can maybe use this one. This size here might be a little easier to deal with. The torch will heat it up enough that it'll shrink that down, because you also have to get it over the junction you're going to make. All right, so here's my chunk of shrink tubing. Now, first thing you want to do, twist your ends a little bit so you can get your tubing over it. This would be priority number one, job one. Get the tubing around the exposed wire and down the insulation a little bit, because you're assuming this other end is connected to something that you're trying to fix, right? So you want to put the shrink tubing on first before you braid these together, or now you can't get the shrink tubing on. All right, so now we're going to twist a few twisties on this other exposed end. Then I just always take them together right here like this and do the old twisty, like a twisty tie on bread or something, right? Like I say, this is the quick and dirty method, but it actually works really well. Now, you take it and you aim, so you've got your junction, aim it down the opposite way from the end that your shrink tubing is on, so you can push it over that junction fairly easily. So now I'm going to take my tubing down and push it right over that junction. Now that's in the middle of my shrink tubing area. See how that works? Okay. Now I'm going to set this aside and get the torch ready. Okay, this is a torch. It's, what's the brand of it? Burnzomatic. Oh. Anyway, great torch. Separate from the propane bottle, so you can always buy refills. My daughter got this for me for Christmas last year. Within a week, I had to use it immediately when I was up in Montana, and it was 26 below zero, and I had to go and unfreeze my brakes, crawl underneath the trailer and truck and unfreeze my brakes. So you just pop the cap off of that, you stick this on top here, and you simply screw it on. Yes, it's just that easy. Alright, so once it screws on far enough, it pierces inside. Got a little dial here on the back side, and we're just going to crank it to on, and then you hit the trigger. Ah, we have fire. There you go. See how easily that works? Okay, now I've got my torch going. I've got my shrink tubing already over the junction here. You just take the flame and you kind of go across it a few times, and you see that kind of shrinking down there, making a nice seal. And that's about all you need to do to it, and that's it. Turn my torch back off. And now, look up close. See, it shrunk down around the wire and across my junction right there. It's still a little hot and tacky, but it shrinks down and makes a weather-tight seal. Alright, that works so much better than those butt-in connectors or those fast clips, because still it's kind of exposed to the weather. This is a weather-tight seal. Now your wire is fixed. Quick and dirty. Quick and dirty. Torch and shrink tubing. Okay, so right there, that's exactly how I fixed the wire on the leading to the trailer light, or license plate light on the trailer. Once I got underneath the trailer with my torch and my scissors and my shrink tubing, you saw real quick on that little part where I showed you where the wire is coming in the back side, I just pulled on that a little bit and got to a junction where somebody had tried to fix it before, but they didn't do a very good job. So I put a couple of larger pieces of shrink tubing going either way on the wire I was going to repair, and then did what I just showed you with twisting them together, cutting off the insulation, twisting them together, putting that smaller shrink tubing right around that, melted that down. Then I moved two of the larger ones in on either side and shrunk that down around the whole thing with the other shrink tubing, just to give it some extra weather protection. And it took me all of 5 minutes, and it was repaired. Stuffed the wire back up in there, good to go. Alright, so the only thing that's bad is you crawl into the trailer, you get a little dirty. Big deal. But the torch, baby, and the shrink tubing, it's a beautiful thing. Alright, hope you enjoyed this edition of Clutch Trucker. I know this was a quick one, but thanks so much for tuning in. I am now here at the TA in Mocksville, North Carolina. It's Sunday. Got to deliver tomorrow morning. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in. As always, ring the bell. Please subscribe. I've got a big 13 subscribers. I'd like to pop that up a little bit. Ring the bell. Subscribe. Hit the like. Whatever you'd like to do. Comment if you would like. Sniff the magic YouTube fairy dust. As always, Clutch out.